cuffs are off, man. Get right. Too many left in these leagues, but I ain't gonna leave. I'ma get right. Get right. Down to the bottom and scratch it for all the.
Hey everybody, Adam Rank here.
What's up, everybody? It's Marcus Grant.
This is AJ Dillon of the Green Bay Packers.
I got to give a shout out to y'all at Get Right Fantasy.
If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Do you want to lose your league?
Our league, check out the Get Right Fantasy Network.
You got to get right with the Get Right Fantasy Network.
And best of luck with your podcast. Appreciate the support.
And you're tuned in to watch my boys at Get Right Fantasy Network. Get you right. Enjoy the show.
But I tune in every Friday. Strategies provided, I will lock in every way. So go and roll your sleeves up. Yeah, go roll your sleeves up. And I'm getting down cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting right cause I roll my sleeves up.
What up? What up? What up, world? Welcome back. This is the Get Right Fantasy Network with me, Mike Herrick, aka Classic Mike, and this is our Week 8 active and inactive show. Also, it's National Tight End Day. Got to wear my Bavaro for this day, of course. I'm going to be going over some news since our Friday show, and then at roughly around 11:30. Or when I get the news, I'll give you guys the actives and inactives for the 1 o'clock games. If you have any start-sit questions leading up, make sure to put them in the chat. I will try to get to them ASAP. We also have our super chats on as well. So if you want an immediate response, I'll stop the show to answer your question first. But go ahead and drop your question. I'll try to answer as we go. Be sure to include things like your league size, or type of league, the PPR scoring, even format in the context of redraft, dynasty, all that stuff. So we can, I can give you guys the best answer I can possibly give you. Also, for those that are new to the channel, make sure you guys check out our weekly schedule. We are here every day of the week except for Saturday, but we're working on that. We want to be here 7 days a week for you guys. Make sure you guys check out our show on Monday with Rasta and Frank. They will do their overreactions as well as waiver wire ads. Then we will have our Tuesday show with Tycoon. He hosts the Fantasy Boardroom and, helps you guys with all the, anything that you need fantasy-wise. He'll help you. On Wednesday, we have Phil with the Extra Point doing his Dynasty show, as well as our Get Right roster management and trade targets, discussing buy and sell targets and, players to hold on to. And then Thursday, Phil's back with his Extra Point doing DFS and daily props, leading right up to Thursday Night Football. And then, of course, we're here every Friday with two shows, one at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, and 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. Yeah, I'm slowly getting there. And then, of course, every Sunday morning with me. So let's get into the news. I do have a few questions in the chat, and one of them is pertaining one of our news what is going to be talking about. Will, I see you. Don't worry. I didn't forget you. But this goes into what I'm going to be talking about. This is the first question the first thing I have currently is T. Higgins is, feeling better today. Team is hopeful, but wants to see how he looks today. Doesn't want to risk long-term injury, but recent reports, prior to coming in, looks like he's not expected to play today. You will probably need to find a replacement if you have T. Higgins. You're not playing him today. So get him out of your lineup. If he, so in this case, he's asking, who do you replace him with? And it would be Keenan Allen, Bucky, Eckler, Wicks, or Shepard. Those are all great options. I don't hate any of them. The one that I probably like a little bit more, and I'm assuming I'm going to go based on full PPR. Tell me if it's different there, Smokey. But if it's half PPR, I might be leaning Bucky. I know he's hurt. He's currently dealing with a toe injury. So he might be a little bit limited, but they said he's been looking great in practice and has a really good attitude towards everything. So for me, I might lean Bucky. I like the guaranteed touch more than the unknown. Keenan Allen is being used, but not as much. It's a good matchup for him. Eckler's in a decent scenario today. Going again, well, not really. The Broncos are actually a pretty good defense overall, and they're favored by 11. So they might, he might be okay just because they're going to use him in the passing game and be in negative game script. But he's a little bit lower in my rankings. Wicks, I'm just honestly, I'm not sure what to do with the Packers and their wide receiver core. 1 week it's one guy, 1 week it's another. Sterling Shepard, I do like if it's full PPR, just because I think that they're going to have to lean on him a little bit. Him and Jalen McMillan, I think, are going to be two guys. Trey Palmer as well. Got to keep an eye on him as well. So I feel just the best guy out of that group to me is probably Bucky Irving, but Shepard's a close second for me. Will, I'll ask you a question. I don't want to think I'm shying away from you. So he asks, who should I start in my flex spot? Wow. The fact that you have this question to begin with and the players that you have is incredible. Malik Neighbors, Dobbins, Amari Cooper, or Javonte Williams. These are all great players for me today. Honestly, I would have no problem playing all these guys in one way or another. I have everybody going in most scenarios. So for me, I'm probably going to go with Neighbors. Neighbors, honestly, for me, is probably your best option full PPR wise. I do really like Javonte Williams. He's next in this grouping. I think he has a really good matchup today against the Panthers. Right now, those are the two that I would really go with. I love Cooper too. He's got another week, but the game in Seattle today is the only game I'm a little bit nervous about when it comes to passing yardage. I mean, Josh Allen has played in the crap weather. He plays in Buffalo. He's used to it. He's played in, Wyoming and all that. So, it's one of those things where he's used to the bad weather in general. It's going to be a really crappy game. It's going to be, 15-mile-an-hour winds, if not higher, a little bit of rain throughout the game. So it's going to be, not the best. He does have a good arm, so it doesn't really matter about wind and all that stuff. But overall, I'm a little bit more comfortable with guys like Neighbors or Javonte. I do like Dobbins because of the game script for the Chargers going against the Saints. Saints are pretty decent against the run in general. They've kind of fell off in the last few weeks, actually. They're at 28. So I like all the matchups here. So Malik Neighbors, Javonte, Dobbins, and Amari Cooper is probably the order I would go with there, Will. Wicked, what's going on, man? Great to see you. He goes, Mike, morning from the West Coast. Morning, brother. Great to see you here. Always love having the West Coast wake up with me. He goes, Dalvin Cook, boom or doom? Yeah, I'm going to go doom. Don't read into the Dalvin Cook propaganda, if you will. I mean, yeah, they brought him up. It's because they've been having problems with that rushing offense as a whole. I don't fully trust the Dallas offense as as more of a rush. They're not a rush team anymore. They don't have anybody. Rico Dowdle is the lead back, even with Zeke there. You're basically just taking two old guys and putting them behind a really young guy and just hoping to see what happens. But no, it's not happening. I do not see him having a good day today, or not today. But I don't see him being anything effective. You're not starting him anywhere. So, Ray W, what's going on, man? He goes, let's see that jacket. Hey, no, this ain't a jacket, man. This is my jersey. This is my Bavaro jersey, bro. I love this jersey. This is my, I got to celebrate, National Tight End Day. It's just one of those things, man. I'm always a big fan of the, the tight ends in general. Ha ha ha. But yeah, Mark Bavaro is my all-time favorite tight end. Current tight end, one of my favorites is George Kittle, of course. He reminds me so much of Bavaro. So yeah, really one of my favorite jerseys to wear. I get compliments everywhere I go with this. So I really wanted to wear it today. Even though the Giants aren't playing today, they're playing tomorrow, but wanted to wear it. Jesse Winchester, what's going on, brother? Great to see you. Hope all is well. If you have, any other questions, don't hesitate to throw them in. He goes, "Hey man, Baker or Rodgers today?" That's a really great question for you guys to have. I overall, before this week, I would have told you Baker without even thinking twice about it. Right now, it's a little bit different with his situation. Um, I do have Baker ranked higher in my rankings. If you ever need to, know my rankings, they're always on our website, getrightff.com. We do have our rankings posted, me, Rasta, and the rest of the crew. So make sure you guys check them out there. Right now, my rankings have them at 8, and I have Rodgers at 19. I do have to kind of tweak this a little bit. I didn't get an opportunity. I usually wait until actives and inactives because I want to make sure I have the right, idea. I do usually try to tweak it prior to that because I kind of have an idea who's playing, who's not. Um, I do like Rodgers today a little bit better until we can see what happens with Baker and how the change of the guard goes without having guys like Chris Godwin and Mike Evans in the lineup for now. Um, I would probably roll with Rodgers. I think the matchup is overall better for him. He is dealing with injury, so there is a little bit of unknown. Patriots have done pretty well against the QB. They're 11th right now uh, against the QB. On the season, giving up only 14 points per game to quarterbacks. So that scares me a little bit. But like I said, with Baker, I mean, Baker is going against a Falcons team who's been giving up the 24th most. So if you feel that Baker is in a better scenario with his 3 younger receivers, well, I'm not calling Sterling Shepard younger, but the concept that Jalen McMillan and Trey Palmer with Kate Nodden, uh, if you feel comfortable with that and trust Baker to do Baker things, he does run, and he is able to get yardage on the ground, so his floor is a little higher. I might lean Baker actually. I'm gonna convince myself to go Baker here. It's hard for me to not like the Jets offense with Adams, Williams or Wilson and Williams as well. So for me, yeah, I need to go with Baker here and trust the process. It is a little bit of a risk, but I think he can. I think he can pull it off. So let's go Baker. Ride the hot hand. Yeah. So Ray goes, I hope you saw the Duke about Mara Stellar Doc. No, I have not. I have to. I did see it recently, but I only saw it recently. I only saw the ad for it recently. So I definitely am gonna check that out. I'll let you know how it goes when and if I watch it. Uh, Always love watching those things about the Giants. So make sure you guys throw your questions in the chat. I'll answer them very shortly. I'm going to just give you guys some brief news about players that are going to be active or not. If you don't already follow Adam Schefter or Ian Rappaport, they usually put out a huge thread at like 12 o'clock on Sunday morning about all the people that are expected, not expected, so on and so forth. So always check that out, or just come see me every Sunday morning and I'll tell you all about it. So right now, Ravens, they have Zay Flowers with his, well, they said hammy, but it's actually an ankle. So whoever gave that, and Jeremy Fowler, you gotta work on your thing. He has an ankle injury. He's considered a game time decision, but as per Adam Schefter, he's expected to play today. So if the hammy is added to the ankle, I would expect him to be a little bit limited. You saw what happened after he got hurt in the last game against the Bucks. So just be wary of that. Seahawks are going to be most likely without DK Metcalf. They're going to try to do some pregame workout, but he remains doubtful. Remember, that game is at 4 o'clock, so you're probably not going to have him. Excuse me. I would go a different route when it comes to DK Metcalf. One bit of really surprising news is Deebo Samuel. He's expected to play tonight on Sunday Night Football versus the Cowboys. Samuel is listed as questionable after being hospitalized, shortly after last week's game due to pneumonia. That's a huge, huge thing. he had a rough time playing that game. He had a hard time breathing. Anyone that has experienced pneumonia, it's tough. But they said, honestly, he has been very good in practice. He's had no, crazy issues or anything like that. He's been happy, jumping around, keeping up morale and all that. So he could be in for a decent, situation. I would caution you if you're going to be playing Debo today in general, just because of the concept that they could limit him a little bit. So just be aware of it. Doesn't mean that they will, but I would just keep an eye on it. Something to definitely keep your eye on. I'm getting from Tom Pelissero currently. He is sending out a tweet now. He is inactive today. So he is going to be inactive versus the Eagles. He said that Higgins pulled his quad running a route on air in practice. Okay. He wanted to play today, just couldn't do it physically. So T. Higgins is inactive today. So we got the first inactive. Joe Ortiz, what's going on, brother? Great to have you here today. Thanks for coming and joining us today. Um, Next is Jacoby Myers. He's been listed as questionable for Sunday's game due to his sprained ankle. He's expected to play after full practicing full on Friday. He has been out for the last few weeks with this high ankle sprain. Hopefully everything is good to go and he's ready to go. They do need a receiver over there in Raider Nation, and hopefully they get what they need. Chargers Lad McConkey, he's listed as questionable due to a hip injury. He's expected to play today. He's been coming on late. He had a rough start last week in Monday night's game to start, but then he finished strong. So, yeah, I would definitely be ready to go with him. Tyreek Hill, he's listed as questionable for today's game due to a foot injury. He's expected to play today. He's not missing a game with having Tua back finally. He needs his competent quarterback, and he's ready to go. So we'll wait and see how that goes. I think he's also dealing with a knee injury, but I could be wrong. They did mention something about his whole scenario when he got arrested the other day, and then he got knee surgery and all that. So we'll wait and see. But he is expected to play. I don't see any problem there. George Kittle is listed as questionable for tonight due to a foot sprain. He's expected to play. When I saw him being as questionable, I'm like, no, he's playing. Like, he's going to be wearing his Dallas Sucks shirt and he's going to be enjoying the day. I know that he's going to have his day, and it's National Tight End Day. I can't help but think, but they're going to try to get him involved. Bucky Irving, part of the three-headed monster over there in Tampa Bay. He's expected to play despite a toe injury. They have him listed as questionable, but they are optimistic that he will play today. So keep that in mind. They do play at 1:00, so we will know shortly. I'll let you know. Travis Etienne, he's questionable with a hamstring. He's a long shot to play today, so he is most likely out. It will be Tank Bigsby again. Hopefully, we will see how that goes. The Commanders will. Right now, they're going to. It was in the middle of the week. They did not think that Jaden Daniels will be playing. They're going to make a team decision prior to game time, but sources say there's a realistic chance that he does play. He's arrived at, they want to see how he feels when he arrives to the stadium. He's likely to do pregame warmup, but he has a shot to play. Very, very odd to see, but glad that he is. He's a 4:00 game. So you're going to have some type of backup if you trust that he is okay and ready to go, just because you never know how that's going to go. Cordero Patterson is going to be downgraded to out versus the Giants, as well as Justin Fields, who also was added to the injury report. He has a hamstring injury. Right now, he is questionable. So just know that. We'll get into the other news in a minute. Let me answer the questions that I have had come through the chat. We have Wicked Pompeo. What's going on? Again, he goes with Higgins bottom out. Odunze or Ridley in full PPR. Man, Ridley. So Ridley, in most situations, I would tell you Ridley, but in this case, I'm going to go with Dunze. I like the matchup better overall versus, well, hold on, I like the matchup overall against the Commanders. Commanders are probably one of the worst against the wide receiver. They are currently 25th, giving up 35 points per game to wide receivers in fantasy. Um, I think I'm going to definitely stick with the Dunze. Mason Rudolph, I like him. He's okay, eh, but he can't unlock Ridley. The matchup against the Bills, or no, sorry, the matchup against the Lions. I mean, it's favorable for him because Lions are the worst again, the 31st best against the wide receiver. It's a good matchup for him, but I just don't trust it yet. That offense just does not look good. I rather go with the second/third option compared to the first option. That's how bad it is. So yeah, I think I'm going to lean Adunze here. Untamed Music, what's going on, brother? Great to have you here today. He's asking me if it should be Marvin Harrison Jr. or Tank Dell. These guys are very close to, for me. I think I have Tank. Where do I have Tank in my rankings? I have Marvin Harrison at 22, Tank at 26. So based on my rankings, I'd lean towards Marvin Harrison. But let's take a look at the wide receiver group going against the Dolphins. Dolphins are best against the wide receiver this year, only giving up 22 points per fantasy. 22 points of fantasy points per game, comparative to the Colts, who are currently in the middle of the road at 16, giving up 31. Remember, that's a combination of for wide receivers, not just for one. I think Marvin's going to have a rough matchup versus Jalen Ramsey. As Ramsey is older, he is still a top 10 corner overall. I think he's going to give them a little bit of problems in general. Tank is hard to trust in his scenario. Stroud hasn't looked good without Collins there. Tank on his own needs Collins, to be fair, because he opens up so much for him. This is a tough one, and I know people are a little bit like, "Oh no, Dell got no points last week," and I know that that's what's scary with this scenario. This is a tough one. I want to lean Marv because they want to find a way to make that work, but yeah, I think I'm going to lean Marvin Harrison. I think they're both right next to each other roughly, but I think I'm going to lean Marv for this particular decision. That's a tough one too. That's a tough question. Untamed Music, thanks for that. I do appreciate those types of questions. Makes me think, critical thinking. I like it. So Jesse Winchester goes Flex Olave, Chubb, or Tillman. Full PPR. That's a great question too, man. You guys always have the best questions. I always enjoy this show the most. It really makes me, really challenges me to try to give you guys the best options available here. So currently I have Chris Olave at 33 in my rankings. Charles Tillman, anytime I see Tillman, I always think Charles. Cedric Tillman, I have a lot lower. Where do I have him currently? The fact that I had to roll all the way down to find him. Oh, there it is, 44. So I have them just a little bit off from one another. I'm probably going to lean Olave here since it's full PPR. You need to remember Olave was only in the game, the first game with Rattler for like 5 minutes, and then he got a concussion. But they did their best to involve him as much, in the beginning. I want to say Olave in this particular matchup versus the Chargers. Chargers are one of the better teams against the wide receiver, but this is a tough one, man, because Tillman can just disappear. Olave is the main staple for this team with just a bad quarterback. Tillman is a up and coming receiver with a used to be good quarterback. And I like Jameis. I like Jameson Williams a lot. Or sorry, Jameson Winston a lot. But it's going to be, I think that game is going to be a little bit rougher than people think. I know they're down their two corners. For the Ravens, they're down there, they're a little weak at wide receiver this week, so they're going to be a little bit vulnerable. They're also 30th against wide receivers. This is a good matchup for Tillman. I think that they're going to try to get Njoku more involved in that game than Tillman. I'm going to lean Olave here. Yeah, I think I got to lean Olave. So Joe Ortiz goes, Daniels should sit for his sake and mine. I need Mariota to play. Hey, man. I don't have any. I have no Jaden Daniels or Mariota. Sorry. Let me use this one. So Stroud or Cousins, man. Any week that I would have Stroud miles above Kirk Cousins. But I have Stroud and Cousins 11 and 12 for me in my rankings. Jesse, no problem, brother. That's what I'm here for. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to throw them in the chat. Man, Stroud or Cousins, I have them at 11 and 12 this week. I think Cousins is in a better scenario overall. Right now, the Buccaneers are last in the league. They're one of those teams that give up a ton, but had the offense to come back. I think I'm going to go with Cousins here, just because I love the matchup a lot more than I do with Stroud. Just because, from what I keep seeing, Stroud doesn't have the ability to play well without Nico there, or at least that's been the trend the last few weeks. So I'm going to lean Cousins here just because of that. Even though I have Stroud ranked only one above, I do that more for my own ranking process. But I think I'm going to play Cousins here for you there, Joe. Ooh, this is a tougher one. So Joe asks Rachaad White or James Cook for RB2. Hey, man, this is a really tough question for me. I like both. Really like both today. Buccaneers going against the Falcons. Falcons aren't doing well currently. They are, where are they? Or no, they're doing okay against the running back, 7th overall in fantasy points per game. I do like Cook today just because of the conditions and the matchup. Seattle is 23rd against the running backs. It's going to be a wet, gross game where they're going to have to keep everything short. And they're going to, they might keep everything short, but I think at the end of the day, it's going to be James Cook here. I have to. So I'm going to go James Cook over Rachaad White in this one. I think they're going to run a ton. I do think White is involved a lot. I think they're going to use him in the passing game. I do have White more as a flex option than a running back too. So I think I'm going to go James Cook here. So, and he was talking about the concept of Stroud and Cousins. Yeah, it's a tough matchup. But to give you guys some news about that, hopefully Stroud is getting his lead receiver back. Nico Collins is on track to start week 10, which is huge for them. I can't wait for that. It also sounds like Cooper Kupp is off the market for wide receiver needy teams, but it looks more like Deontay Johnson and Christian Kirk, as per Adam Schefter. The news I keep getting about trade targets near the trade deadline for, especially for wide receivers and so on, Deontay looks like the better option when it comes to, contract and so on. So it looks like Deontay might be up on the block. Christian Kirk, maybe not, just because, they would have to eat a huge part of his salary. I don't think people want that. So I think at this point, he's the best wide receiver option money wise. So I'm starting to get actives and inactives in. Ortiz, I see you there. Don't worry. I got you in a second. Let me get through these and I will get to your question real quick. So, ooh, all right. So the Texans are down a few defensive options with Al Shire and Ward. Those are two big missing pieces for them today. Those are really, uh, you know, active players. Will Levis, Tajay Spears are going to be out for the Titans, so know that in advance. Jerome Baker is also going to be inactive today. He just came in recently, so he is going to be inactive today versus the Lions. Um, I mean, you're not playing many of your Lions. Zay Flowers is active today, so as per Adam Schefter, he is going to play. Mike Evans, we already knew about. He is inactive today, but I don't see Bucky on the injury report. So that is good. So Bucky is active today. Waiting on more from the teams. Let me see. Will Levis, we already got that. Mason Rudolph gets a start today. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. I always like having good banter here. I need somebody to keep me entertained. I like this question that Alex has here. We're gonna answer that in a second. So we have Zay Flowers, like I said, is active. Tyreek Hill is officially active. So come on, guys. If you didn't think he was playing, if you thought he was going to be out today, come on. Finally gets Tyreek back, or finally gets Tua back. It's going to be a fun day. I hope they take full advantage of that scenario and free Tyreek Hill, if you will. Looks like no one crazy for the Eagles, only Dallas Goedert, but we knew about him prior to the show. Still waiting on more. We're waiting on a few people. We already know about T. Higgins. He will be inactive today. Okay, so Milton is the third quarterback. He's inactive. Jaden Polk is inactive. Everybody else is good to go. Don't worry, Alex. I see all your questions. We're going to get to them in just 2 seconds. I'm just waiting for all the actives and inactives to roll through. I do get them as I go. I just want to make sure you guys get that information first. But don't worry, I'm going to answer your questions as soon as possible. If you want your question answered right away, no, I'm kidding. I'm not, I'll put as much as I like pushing super chats, I'm not going to be the guy to, tell you guys, throw me money to answer questions. But if you want to, you can. But I see your questions. I'll get to them very shortly, I promise. I always do. We already knew about Zay Flowers. Wicked, I see your question. I have no problem answering those questions. It's gonna, I'll give you the best thought process I can for that, for things like trades and so on. Justin Simmons is out for the Falcons. Might be another reason why you want to load up Baker today. We do have a question from Alex concerning Baker that, don't worry, I will get to. I really like that question too. I have a spicy take for that one, just because I really like that question. So, yeah. Give me 1 second. We already knew about the Titans. Why do they give you 30 different beat writers for the same team? Just give me the guys that are inactives and actives. Simple. Where's Travis Etienne? I need to know the Jags. Come on. Give me the Jags. Just need the Jags. Oh, we might be getting it soon. Quay Walker's out for the Packers. Damn. Yeah, Joe, good question for Wicked. I want to know, if you guys are going to give me a trade question, definitely give me some context. Let me know who's on your team, so on and so forth. It definitely helps with the process. Otherwise, it's kind of a broad answer for you, and I don't want to have to do that. Wyatt Teller is going to be at right guard today for the Browns. That's huge. They're getting a huge, huge, I'm telling you, huge part of that offensive line coming back. Willis is going to be out, unfortunately, and so is Jerome Ford for the Browns. It looks like Bucky Irving is active today, good to go. So Bucky is playing today. So you can load up Bucky. Actually, one question I have for all, if you guys have an answer in the chat, let me know. Bucky Irving or Jalen McMillan? I actually have that question answer in my own league. I'm leaning Bucky just because I like the guaranteed touch. But hey, I could be wrong. That's what I'm feeling right now. Uh, Even with the injury and it's a three-headed monster, I still like the volume that we saw last week. I think they're able, I think they did a really good job overall getting in each guy. Uh, I mean, if you look at the numbers for them for that game last week. So hold on one sec. Let me just bring up the numbers. So for the game last week, it was Rashad going 48%, Irving 35, Sean Tucker 20. That was a healthy, really healthy snap share. So I really like that. Alan Lazard is inactive today. We already kind of knew that. Mike Williams will get his first real shot today to do anything with Aaron Rodgers. See how that goes. Looks like T. Higgins. Wait, it looks like Travis Etienne is inactive. Okay, so been waiting all day for the Jags, and now I got it. Travis Etienne inactive. Tank Bigsby, load him up. I think that's it. Yep, that's all I got for you guys. So let me get to your questions. Sorry for making you guys wait. I wanted to always, I always want to give you guys all the good news. So he goes Allen or Goff. That's a tough one for me. I have both in one league, and I am mulling that particular decision as we speak, just because I love Josh Allen, but he hasn't been the same lately. Matchups wise, Titans are middle of the road. Seattle is a little bit the same. They're pretty much 16th and 18th against the QB this year. I mean, Josh Allen definitely has the higher floor just because of his rushing rushing yardage and all that. Definitely is a plus. If I'm looking at the matchups for wide receiver, it's 16th. Oh, sorry. Titans are 6th compared to the Seahawks, who are 12th. So defense wise, they're pretty even overall. Tennessee second against tight ends. Um, Seahawks are a little bit more, so maybe they're gonna take advantage of and use Laporta a little more, especially after Jerome Baker leaving. Maybe Laporta has a decent game today. But overall, I think I'm gonna have to lean Allen. I think if any game is gonna have a negative game script, to go in favor of one of the two, because both are favored today. Detroit's favored by 12 at this point, and Buffalo by 3. I might lean Allen here because there's a good probability that can switch real quick. When you have lines where it's so one-sided, there's a lower probability of that game going the other way compared to that way. So I think I'm going to go with I'm going to go with Allen in this particular one. This one is a little bit closer for me. These two are right next to each other. If I could play both, I would. I think I'm going to lean Pitts here just because of the matchup. Uh, going against the Bucks. Bucks have given up a ton against the tight end recently. Ravens are a little banged up today, going against the Browns. In the secondary of all things, but Kyle Hamilton is a decent cover guy. But they are going to try to get him involved as much as possible. I want to lean Pitts, but both guys, I think you're good with either or, to be quite honest. An abundance of riches is always nice to see. Let's get to Alex Martinez, man. I know I've been having you wait, and I appreciate you being patient. So thank you so much for your time. And Knicks or Baker, man. This is a great. I love this question, and there's a reason. I love Bo Nix, man. I like Bo. Honestly, I like a lot of things about Bo. This matchup for Carolina is going to be his best that he sees all year. Carolina is currently 29th against quarterbacks this year, only giving up 19 points per game, fantasy points per game. I like it. I like the matchup better. Baker's matchup isn't bad either. Falcons give up the 24th most. Man, both are good matchups. Both have, decent floors. Knicks has the higher floor because of his rushing ability. And, Baker can run, but not like Knicks. I'm gonna make a spicy take here. I'm gonna go Knicks has a better day than Baker. Um, yeah, Knicks over Baker. I like it. Rare that I do that though. Then we got Rodgers or Caleb Williams, right? Yeah, yeah. So Rodgers or Williams, I think I'm gonna lean Caleb Williams today. Commanders defense can be beaten through the air. They are 17th best against QB, but against wide receivers, they are 25th. Caleb has gotten a lot better. He has shown a lot more promise in the last few weeks. I'm going to go with Williams in this one. I understand everybody's on top of, wanting Rodgers and, because he just got Adams and, all that. Show me something first. They didn't really do much in the last game that really, shocked me. They had a okay outing, but Patriots, they know each other. They all know each other pretty well. I like the Williams matchup just a smidge more. I don't like the field they play on, but I do like because for anyone that knows anything about FedEx Field in general, that place is it's almost worse than Giant Stadium in the context of injuries and so on and so forth. But I'm going to go with Williams here for this particular question. Wicked. Okay, so this is Wicked's question. If this this is always the place to ask. So I have somebody wanting to buy high on Reed. Would you sell Reed or would you like to hold him? So he goes, it's a deep dynasty. Okay, so this is a deep dynasty league. So Rice, Adunze, Higgins, Waddle, Hill, Dell, Godwin, Purcell, Mooney, and then some other random depth. Oof. Okay. So Dunze, Waddle, Dell. It's based on what you're getting in return and what that particular return nets you. If you're getting a decent running back out of that, I don't hate that because it seems like your team is wide receiver heavy comparatively to running back heavy. But I do like this particular grouping of wide receivers. You are kind of giving up a big piece of that. So just be aware. If you're fighting right now to be a contender, I would not do this. I would keep Reed. But if you are a bottom tier team and you're looking to kind of get something back for it, I would probably lean to go sell him at a decent price. So if you're selling high, I don't mind that. So Ronald in the house, he goes, "Hey Mike, you've been Been here the whole time. Just found my phone to type. Nice, man. So for those that don't know, Ronald and Joe are in there to help you guys with questions as well. But don't worry, I'll get to them as we go. Ray goes, Nick's healthier. Daniel's banged up if he plays. I'm gonna tell you right now, I like Nick's today. I feel good about it. I hope he does well today. But yeah, I would definitely go Knicks over a banged up Daniels. One hit could make the day, real tough for him. And there's no guarantee he plays either. But thankfully, both games are 4 o'clock games, so you could pretty much know ahead of time. If he is active, that means they are comfortable with playing him, knowing the risk. But the matchup I don't like. I don't like the matchup overall. I think the Bears defense is a scarier defense than people think it is, and they're one of the best against the wide receiver. So they might have a rougher day. So for me, Bo Nix, I like it. I like Bo Nix a lot, and his rushing floor is pretty similar to Jaden Daniels. So Alex goes, my 12-man league, full PPR, currently second. Good for you, brother. I like it. He goes Daniels Mayfield. Then he has Barkley, Bijan, Jacobs, and Mixon. What? Who dropped Mixon on the waivers? Cup. Deontay, Bateman, McMillan, Juju had Rice. Okay. Brandon Allen. Man, abundance of riches. I like it. I like it a lot. Good for you, Alex. Kraft or Kincaid? I'm going Kraft. Man, beginning of the year, I would have told you Kincaid. Kraft after what we have seen. Ronald goes Myers or Pittman today. Ugh, I don't like either. If you're gonna give me one to pick, I'd probably go with Pittman a little bit more. I mean, Raiders are going to be in negative game script regardless against the Chiefs, but I don't like that matchup again. Yeah, no, I don't like that matchup at all. I'm gonna go Pittman. Alex goes, would you start Rodgers? It's really based on the scenario and who you have otherwise. Rodgers isn't a horrible start today in general. It's just based on who else you have. I have him ranked at 19, which is a low, a middle of the road QB2. Superflex, I'm playing him without a problem, but in one QB league, I might go a different direction if you have it. I have other guys like Bo Nix ahead of him. I have Tua above him. I have Dak Prescott above him with better matchups. So Caleb Williams, I have at 7. Guys like that are available. I would only play him in certain scenarios, and like I said, it's really based on your particular scenario. Christopher, what's going on, man? Great to have you here. If you haven't already, make sure if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys like and subscribe to the show if you like what you see. Like I said, we are here every day of the week. So if you want to check out our other shows, we have shows every day of the week. Sorry, I'm kind of covering one of the shows, but here, let me take that away real quick. We are here every day of the week. So make sure you guys check us out. We're always here for you guys every day of the week. So let me get back to where are you on here? There we go. Christopher, he goes Bigsby or Hubbard today? Ooh, I like that question. Jags have the Packers. Let's look at our points per. Let me see. Packers. I like both. So that's why I'm sitting here trying to question what I have. I have them pretty right next to each other in my rankings. Broncos are a little bit better of or the Packers are a little bit better of a matchup. Yeah, let's go Tank. I like Hubbard, but I think I'm going to lean Tank today. So Ron goes Myers, Chuba, or Pittman. I'm going Chuba. I like Hubbard today. I like Bigsby today. I like both of them. But yeah, I do like Chuba here. Joe goes, I plugged in Njoku. Hey man, I've had people come on or I've had people in the show where they've asked me both questions and they always go against my answer and they do okay. So I don't blame you. A buddy of mine, Worm, he usually does that. So we got Ron goes, also have PPR. I got Chuba, Chris Brown, or Chase Brown, you mean, or Ramondre Stevenson. Interesting. Don't like Chase. I like Chuba. Ramondre, I don't hate, but he has a tougher matchup against the Jets. I'm gonna go Chuba here. Chuba's, ride the hot hand here. J.K. Frederick, what's going on, brother? He goes full PPR flex start. Monty or Javante? I like that question, man. Man, you guys always throw out the really good questions, and I really enjoy it. So thank you. I appreciate the chat. You guys have been doing great, so keep it up. I have Monty currently at 23 in my rankings. I do have Javante Williams at 20. I like the matchup much better, just because against the running back, Carolina is the worst. They're currently giving up the 32nd best, if you will, 32 points per per fantasy points per game. So, and their offense is decently ranked overall. They're 84th in power rankings, and that's out of 100. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go with Javante here. I do like Monty a lot, but Tennessee is a good defense against the run. They're currently 11th in points per game against the running back. Jeffrey Simmons is a different beast. Monty is a through the tackles guy that has to deal with Simmons on a daily basis. I like both, but I prefer to have Javante if he's available. That's how I would put it. Dangerous Toys, what's going on, brother? He goes, hey, brother. Oh, we got Patrick in the house. What's going on, Patrick? He goes, Tank Bigsby or Mac Millen. Yo, go Big Blue. That's right. Go Big Blue. They're playing tomorrow. Tank Bigsby for me there, Patrick. Got to go with Tank. Ronald goes, also half PPR flex. Chuba, Chubb, Chase Brown. Not Chris. Chase. Unless there's a Chris Brown that I don't know about. Or Ramondre. I love Chubb as a player. Can't play him yet. Gave him his touchdown. They're going to slowly ease him in. I think he had 11 for 22 or something like that. That's not what I want to see from him yet. Ravens defense decent against the run overall. They're 14th currently, but they are pretty good overall. I think I'm going to go Hubbard here overall, just because I like the matchup. Patrick goes Packers or San Fran D. Now, if you're asking for the same team as Bigsby, I would probably avoid using the Packers and use San Fran. I do like that matchup regardless. I think that's a good, defense to use. So, yeah, I'm going to go San Fran here. All right, Dangerous Toys. He goes, should I bench Hubbard and play Dobbins, I'm assuming. Today, Brees Hall and Walker are my RB1 and flex full PPR. Okay. I don't hate the Dobbins matchup. I think I would use Dobbins today over Chuba. I like Dobbins in the matchup. They haven't been playing up to the Saints haven't played up to their potential. They are very good overall. But I would probably where do I have Dobbins ranked currently? I have him at 24. I got to adjust it though. Because I would definitely play him above Chuba at this point. So yeah, I'm gonna go Dobbins for that particular question. I like Dobbins a lot. in this matchup. Alex goes, thanks, brother. Good luck to everyone. Hey, man, that's what I'm here for. I'm here every Sunday. So if you're new, hope to see you next week. I'm also here on Friday nights as well to give you guys start sit questions and part of the, the weekly slate. Hood 1701, what's going on, brother? He goes, I think the Jets are going to run all over the Patriots. Hey, man, I think that's going to happen too. I do think they're going to just try to run the ball, I think they're going to pretty much, right now their line is 7. So a whole touchdown over. Those lines are tough to trust. I always take the under on those, especially in divisional matchups. Which I have to do. Hopefully I can get to it. But yeah, that is going to be one of those games that I don't think they're going to bum rush them, but I do think they're going to beat them. Alice goes, thinking about plugging in Knicks, but have a feeling Tampa and Falcons shootout. Yeah, that's the tough part. You gotta figure that out. It's going to be a rough matchup either way, but I like it. Who goes, all Pats run stoppers are hurt. Yeah. Hey man, I'm definitely I feel a lot better about playing the Jets players than I have in the past. But yeah, do like the matchup. Ray W, he goes, Waddle, Mooney, Dowdle, or Bucky full. Going Waddle here. Now that we have Tua back, I'm going Waddle. No, Waddle's disappointed the last few weeks, but I do like him. Ronald disagrees. He thinks you have to go Mooney. And Joe goes Bucky or Bigsby. I don't know for which question. But yeah. Come on, guys. Get them likes in. Smash that button. Alex, appreciate the support. Really like it. Yeah, Chuba has Denver. That's a horrible matchup. Definitely Bigsby. Yeah. Chris Brown. I'm tired. Yeah. I didn't know Chris Brown played football. Ray W goes Hubbard or Pickens. Full PPR, I'm going to go Hubbard. Yeah. So Ronald goes Pickens. I prefer the guy that gets the touch more than the guy that we don't know. He does look good with Wilson, I will say. I think that game goes in a direction where they don't need to throw it as much and they can lean a little bit more on Najee. So yeah. Javante, maybe why Knicks doesn't do well. Maybe. But I think overall that team, it's going to be one of those games where they're going to just run the ball and, pass when needed. And, they're going to keep him on a decent leash. But I do think Knicks has a decent game. I really do. Yo, I missed the answer to that. Bigsby or McMillan. I had a phone call. Bigsby for me, without question. Have a good weekend. Vote red. Make football great again. Sorry, Patrick. That's where we might disagree. But I do not go into politics on this. Fundamental Bear. What's going on, man? He goes Ricky Purcell or Jalen Tolbert. Half PPR. I'm going Ricky Purcell, man. I like Ricky. Really, really like Ricky today. And I like him moving forward, to be honest. So yeah, I'm gonna go Ricky Purcell here. Dangerous Toys goes Dell or Pickens in the flex spot. Ooh. Unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to go Pickens here. I do like him with Russ. We were talking about that before. Giants 15th against the wide receiver currently. Colts are 16th, so they're right next to each other. I usually like going against, I'd rather go uninterdivisional games sometimes, just because they know each other less. They there's more opportunity for points. I think I'm going to go in this one. I'm going to go with Pickens. So yeah, real close, both guys I think I have right next to each other in rankings, if memory serves me. I have Dell at 26, Pickens at 25. Yeah, right next to each other. Fundamental Bear goes Pickens is the most featured wide receiver in the NFL over the past month, accounting for 63% of the Steelers' passing volume. Can't go wrong there. Can't go wrong. You're the man. I'm still undefeated in that league. Good, brother. I like hearing that. Yeah, got to go with Pickens. Fundamental bear. I appreciate the that particular stat. I really like when I get those. Alex goes, mind giving out your top 3 defensive picks this week. Ooh, I like those. Give me a sec. Let me just bring up my rankings real quick and who I like. I like the Broncos today. I definitely like the Chiefs today. And I do like the Chargers and the Ravens today. So those are two that those are the two I like. Ron, I agree with this. And it's mostly because of the Jalen Johnson treatment with Terry. I would definitely be playing Pickens over Terry for sure. Alex goes, Bateman or McMillan? Ooh, this one's tougher for me. Knowing that Zay Flowers is playing today, it makes me less willing to play Bateman, but I am playing Bateman in one wide receiver. I have a 3 wide receiver league. I am playing Bateman over McMillan. Well, I don't have McMillan, but yeah, I'm gonna go Bateman here. Yeah, yeah. It's nice to see. Dangerous. Don't worry about it, brother. That's what we're here. If you guys, I'm always happy to take super chats, but it's okay if you don't. I'm not gonna push super chats as much. I always appreciate them, so thank you if you guys do. But I never am gonna be the guy to go give us money. No, if you want to give us some money, helps the channel grow, helps us become better. But at the end of the day, it's up to you guys. I'm always here to answer your questions and help you with whatever you might need. So Alex, like I said, Denver I really like today. I do like Pittsburgh, unfortunately. Chiefs, Ravens, Chargers, Bills. Those are the top 5 teams I would use at defense. So if you have the ability, go grab them. I'm playing Ravens, Chargers, and I think Houston in like the 3 or 4 leagues that I have. So Denver or Baltimore, man. Oof. I want to go Denver, man. I, Bryce Young doesn't scare me. Bryce does not scare me, bro. Denver is a good defense overall. So I'm going to go Denver here. Baltimore, they're beat up with a weak secondary going against a guy that loves to throw the ball. So it's going to be a little bit closer. Denver, I think that game is a blowout on their end. So how about the Bears versus the Bills or the Bears versus the Lions? Wait, you mean the Seahawks versus the Bills or the Bears versus the Lions? Wait, what? I'm very confused about your question because neither of this is happening right now. It's Seahawks, Bills, or Titans, Lions. I don't like either of that. Oh, are you saying are you looking at their schedule moving forward? Like the Bills going against A or something like that? Like, I'm trying to get an understanding of what you mean. All right, so you have the Bears D going against Washington today. I like that one. Lions against the Titans. I like that one. I have the Lions ranked higher. Bears are at 13. I have Lions at 7. Yeah. Go against Mason Rudolph. So I'll go Lions. I don't see Mason Rudolph doing too much, to beat us or to beat the Lion. To beat the Lions. So I'm gonna go Mason Rudolph here. Oh, sorry. You know what I mean. Lions. Lions do there. All right. Cool beans. We're moving right along. So I appreciate everyone in the chat. If you guys have other questions, don't hesitate to ask. That's what I'm here for. I do have some value picks for DFS, only if you guys want them. I definitely have them. So I can give those out if need be. Otherwise, I have no problem continuing to answer any start sit questions you guys might have. That's what I'm here for. I want to make sure you guys get your questions answered. Hold on one sec. I saw something that kind of took my eye real quick. No, okay, nothing crazy. So make sure you guys throw those questions in the chat. I'm going to be here for as long as you guys need me here. And then I'm going to start wrapping things up. I do have plans later on today. So I do have to get to them and make sure I am all ready to go. I got to make my picks for my pick'em leagues and things like that. So make sure you guys throw those questions in the chat. He goes, yeah, I have the Lions in over the Bears, but playing the Bears over the Bills. Yeah, I would probably do that. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. All right. So I will give you guys my DFS value picks real quick. Here are my, I use FanDuel. You guys can use whatever particular DFS you like, but my values are based off of FanDuel. So definitely go with that. I enjoy using FanDuel for fantasy. I also use them for, my sports books and stuff like that if it's available in your particular state. So for me right now, we have Josh Allen at the top, Jaden Daniels at the top, hurt. I'm not going to really aim for those, but I really do like using value picks for my quarterback. For here, we have Brock Purdy at $7,700 going against Dallas tonight. I really like that matchup for them. I think, with the loss of Micah Parsons and Marcus Lawrence, it's a huge loss for that Dallas defense. Brock Purdy can definitely thrive in that scenario. We already talked about Kirk Cousins today at $7,100 is a great steal against the Bucs, who are going to struggle a little bit today. I do like this price point for him as well. Tua Tagovailoa coming back from his concussion injury right now versus the Cardinals. I love it. I love the matchup and really think it could work out. Alex, he goes, last question, Baker McMillan stack. You like it? I like it more for DFS. Stacking to me is only something that that you should be doing in best ball. I don't really, for redraft and dynasty and all that. Yeah, it's helpful in some scenarios, but you have to hit. And the probability of it hitting is a little bit bigger now that, the situation is the way it is. It's a good opportunity for it to hit. I wouldn't go with it until we saw more from it, to be fair. You're not getting rid of McMillan. You're going to keep him one way or another. If you have to play him based on your scenario, I don't mind it. But I wouldn't force it. I would wait and see if you have the ability to. I have McMillan in one league where I'm just kind of waiting on to see what happens. But there are other leagues I'm kind of forced to play him because I don't have the wide receiver options that I need. Lost a lot of guys like Nico, Rice, Deontay. Like I had a team with all those guys. And I ended up, I have to play McMillan. But if you're in good scenarios where you have healthy receivers and he's kind of your bench option, keep him on the bench for now and see what happens. But overall, I don't hate the stack. I just want to wait and see what happens with that particular offense as a whole. And I'm okay taking the hit at wide receiver if I have other, better options available. So Dangerous Toys, he goes Chargers or Texans. I'm going to tell you right now, I actually had this particular scenario in one of my leagues and I picked the Chargers. So Chargers for me. Alex, he says, thank you 100%. Hey, man, that's what I'm here for, to help you guys with any questions you have and give you my take on the day. So Hayden Rittenhouse, what's going on, man? Great to see you back. He says Tua or Stroud. So this one's a little bit tougher for me. With Collins in, I would have told you Stroud without thinking twice. I do like Tua in this particular matchup. I do like it for Stroud as well. They are playing at home. Playing at home for me is actually pretty big for the Texans. They have a really good home split this year, and in general. But most of that was with Collins. So far, Stroud has been mediocre. My only concern with Tua is his re-aggravation of the concussion. So, a bad hit, something that kind of, stunts everything and like kind of holds things up. I know they're going to do everything they can to protect him. I know they're going to try to keep him upright and all. Um, but I might, I think Stroud is the safer play. I think Tua is the higher ceiling, if that makes sense. So if you're in a scenario where, let's just say you played or you were against Cup or against Puka or against um, Stafford or something like that, and you need a little bit of a bump, I would go Tua. If you're if the projections are showing you to be kind of even, I would stick with Stroud and see what happens. Uh, but it's a really good question either way for me. Uh, but like I said, I think Tua is definitely a ceiling play. Stroud is more of a floor play, in my opinion. So um, I'm going to lean Stroud uh, to answer the question, but yeah, going to go Stroud here. I always tend to be a little cautious. I'm not really one of those big boom guys. So Wicked goes, you shelling out the money on Daniel's DFS for a monster Kittle day. Wait, you're shelling out money on FanDuel DFS for a monster Kittle day. Yeah. Yeah, I might be going with Kittle today. I might actually do two tight ends at I might do tight end and flex tight end. So here's a funny story for those that don't follow the channel often but are kind of newer. So I'm in a league with a bunch of our guys from Get Right and a few other guys that have been around for a while. And I have Trey McBride, Sam Laporta, and George Kittle in that particular league. I'm I'm getting very close to just playing all three today. And I think we have 3 flex spots and a tight end. So I'm like really debating it, but I have guys like James Cook and Josh Jacobs and, Chris Olave and a few other guys. So I'm sitting there like, ooh, that would be really fun to play all 3 of my tight ends. And, my team name is the Bully Tight Ends because I have all of them. So yeah, it should be fun. I have Hunter Henry too. That would be funny if I played all of those. So yeah. So Hayden Rittenhouse goes Eckler, Marvin Harrison Jr., Taysom Hill. Wow. So the fact that we have to go this low for Marvin Harrison is crazy. I'm gonna tell you Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't hate Taysom Hill, but I like Taysom Hill more in like a Scotty Fishbowl type scenario. If you are in, if you're a part of that particular, charity group, one of my favorites. If those that don't know about it, check it out on Twitter. It is one of my favorite charities to be a part of. They do such a great job overall. They have great people that work there. Scott is one of the best people I've ever met. So definitely get involved. And it's usually tight end premium in one way, but it's like super tight end premium. But if your league is just simple half or full regular, everything, I would probably lean Marvin Harrison Jr. here, and hope that they start using him a little better. It's a tougher matchup for sure, but I do like it a lot better. Yeah, right. For all my tight ends, maybe we'll see. Dylan Fink, what's going on, man? Or Finnick, my bad. He goes, "What's up? Full PPR, different leagues. Start 2 flex out of Bateman, Adunze, Shakir, Olave." Interesting. I do like this grouping. I think I'm gonna go Bateman and Olave here. Yeah, I'm gonna go Bateman and Olave. I do like the matchup for Bateman. I do like Dunze and Shakir. The Bills game I'm a little nervous about just for the weather conditions, but I do like Bateman. One tight end to start, Komet or Ertz, going Komet. Like the matchup. So one QB, two running backs, one wide receiver, and a flex. Am I picking your whole team here? I'm only kidding. So one QB would be between Tua and Daniels and Kirk. I think I'm going to go Kirk here. And then two running backs, Jacobs, Dobbins, or Walker. I think I'm going to go Walker and Jacobs. I do like the Dobbins one. He might be my flex here. And then one wide receiver is Garrett Wilson for sure. So I'm going to go Garrett Wilson. And the flex option, I'm going to go with Dobbins. So yeah, Terry and Hop are the two odd men out as well as Tua and Daniels. Yeah, that great question. Thank you, Dylan. I really appreciated that one. Had to make me think a little bit. I do like that one a lot. Yeah, Kirk Cousins for sure for me as the quarterback. All three are running backs I like. Garrett Wilson would be just fine, but Terry has a really rough matchup. I want to see what happens with DeAndre Hopkins, but it's great that you have him on your bench. That's how I have to put it. So keep throwing those questions in there, guys. I'm going to be here for another 15 minutes, and then I'm going to be out of here. So regardless of what's going on, I'm out of here at 12:30. So make sure you guys throw those questions in the chat. I get to see my little nephew today, so I'm excited to get to see the little guy and hang out with him for a little bit. So Hood 1701, he goes, how do you feel about Debo today? So here's my 2 cents on Debo, and I'm gonna take this screen down real quick because DFS is DFS. He practiced, he was limited. They liked what they saw in practice. He's expected to play. They need him. I think they're going to incorporate him. Probably if you had to give me like how much does he play, like what's the percentage? I want to say out of their particular full offensive showing today. So let's just say they have 70 plays. I think he plays roughly 40% of that. And I think he'll have a decent game, but I don't I'm hampering I'm trying to keep my expectations low to hopefully he does better. But coming back from pneumonia is not easy. It is one of the most painful things to go through if you've never experienced it. I've never personally experienced it. I know others that have, and they've said how painful it can be. So I would temper your expectations for Debo today. I would use him more in a flex spot than I would in a starting spot. I currently have him. Where do I got him? I have Debo at 23 today. So I'm pretty high on him in general just because I like the matchup. But yeah, it's one of those things where I'm just unsure at this point. But they're going to involve him. They need him. So, ew. McMillan is definitely going to get more volume for sure. Just because of the particular scenario and everything going on. They might, this game might be a shootout. If you're in a scenario where McMillan definitely has the ceiling play for me, and Debo is more of a floor play. Normally, Debo's the ceiling and not the floor. I think I would lean a little bit more towards. I mean, I had McMillan I have McMillan in a. Wow, where do I have him? If I can't find him, that's not good. Oh, I have him very low. I got to move him up a little bit. I probably put him in my 30s. So I currently have him at 34 and Debo at 23. So they're about a tier off of one another. Yeah, I'm gonna lean Debo, and it's tough to tell you that too. But McMillan is definitely a volume play if you're gonna play him. He's definitely gonna be involved a lot. Uh, if this is your flex play, I'd be okay with it. But if it's a wide receiver play, I would maybe move McMillan in and put Debo in the flex if you have the ability to do that. But then it's who do you have in your flex comparative to Debo? Um, but McMillan, we have to wait and see how that goes. I just feel more comfortable with Debo knowing everything's going to be okay, and I'm trying to convince myself that everything's going to be fine because he is playing. And I'm a little surprised he is, to be fair. So yeah. IDK, what's going on, brother? He goes, should I start Bijan Robinson? I'm assuming you mean Brian Robinson Jr., J.K. Dobbins, or Kareem Hunt? New to the channel. Great to have you, brother. So make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already. IDK, just give me some clarification if it's full, half, all that fun stuff, and how many you need. Honestly, I'm playing all of them. All those guys are great. But yeah, let me know how many you need for that running back position. Okay, here we go. So he goes full PPR. I need 2 for flex and a RB2. All right, so you need 3. So you need 3 overall for this particular grouping. And so who are you sitting out of this? Okay. Nobody. This is such a really good, this is a great situation you have. If I were to pick a guy, it would probably, and it's hard for me. Yeah, it's good for you. I can't sit it's hard for me to sit Bijan. J.K. Dobbins has a great matchup today. Kareem Hunt has a great matchup today, and I think they're going to just keep running the damn thing. I think the toughest matchup is I think the toughest matchup for running backs right now is the Bears. Let me double check that. Yeah, Bears are 13th best. So they're not great, but they're not good. And Brian Robinson's been on fire lately, but he is banged up. Yeah, I think it's Robinson, and it's the fact that you have me picking this is crazy because this is a group that I would never think I would have to pick from. But it's good for you, man. It's always good to have a good amount of running backs on your team. So I'm definitely gonna take Robinson out of the equation. You're playing Bijan, JK, and Kareem. I think that's a good grouping. Joe goes Monty or James Cook. James Cook. I like Monty a lot. I'm a big fan of Monty. I can, hard to not play him. Tennessee really good against the run overall. They're 11th currently, but they are better than what the stats give, in my opinion. Jeffrey Simmons is a run stopper in the middle, and he is playing. The game in Seattle is going to be rainy. It's going to be gross. They're going to have to run the ball a little bit more. I think that game is more a Josh Allen running and James Cook running and Ray Davis running. So I do think that is just more of a run game. I do like Cook a little bit more. Monty is definitely a touchdown guy, but I do like Cook a lot. Yeah, that's what I'm here for, Joe. That's what I'm here for. Make sure you guys throw those questions in the chat. I'm only going to be here for another 6 minutes. I got to get out of here. I want to go see my little nephew. So make sure you guys throw those in. Oh, I forgot to answer Wicked. I'm sorry, brother. He goes 6,600 for DJ Moore on DFS feels like an absolute. Yeah, I was gonna tell you he was one of my best value picks today. Had him at $6,600. He is one of my biggest. Andre Yoshivash as well, $5,200 as well. He's been real good when T Higgins has been out. A couple of guys I really like today. Chris, he goes Laporta or Ferguson. I'm going Ferguson. Unfortunately, I love Laporta. I think he could have a good game today, just because of Jameson being out and the matchup. But I think no. You know what? I'm going to switch this up. I'm going to go Laporta, and it's just the matchup. Ferg can go. Ferg is going to be going against Fred Warner, and or just one of the safeties. The safeties currently are having a rough time in San Francisco, but I think Fred Warner, one of the best cover corners in the league, cover linebackers in the league, is going to do very well. So I'm going to go Laporta, hoping they get him back into the groove. Then he goes, since Higgins is out, Watson, Tolbert, Odunze, Downs in his place. Ugh. I don't like all these options. Tolbert, I prefer, but I'd probably lean Odunze just because of his red zone prowess. He's a bigger wide receiver. They're coming off the bye week. They've had a lot of time to, get things together. I think I'm going to go with Dunze in this particular matchup. Rambling Man, what's going on? He's like, I'm already playing Rashad White, Tampa Bay kicker, Bijan, and Mooney, all from the same game. Should I still play Otten too, or Kincaid? Yeah, I understand where you're going or where you're coming from. I don't mind playing Otten here. I can't really play Kincaid. I like Kincaid, but I don't think that. I think the expectation we had in our head was different from what actually happened. So a lot of people tend to waste a lot. They ended up wasting a pick on him, and now they're like, "Oh no, what do I do?" Caden Allen's been doing so much better. I like Caden Allen in this matchup. In this particular case, you're not crossing streams, if that makes sense. You're playing White and Otten because White is involved in the run game, Otten's involved in the passing game. Yeah, you don't really love that, but they're going to have to be involved in. I think Baker's going to have to throw a little more than people think in this game. So I like Otten here, and don't overthink that. NFL Casual, what's going on, brother? He goes, hi, man. He goes, should I do A.J. Brown or Drake London? A.J. Brown. Yeah. I do like Drake London a ton. A.J. Brown. So IDK goes, thanks, dude. Yeah, man, that's what I'm here for. Here to help you guys. Make sure if you're new to the channel, make sure you guys are liking and subscribing. Also, check out I have the ticker below. We also have shows every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. We will be getting one on Saturday shortly. So Joe Ortiz goes, gotta go, man. About the boat. Good luck to all except my opponents. Hey, man, that's what I say every week. Good luck to everybody. So see you later, Joe. He goes, Dobbs. Hi, need a flex. PPR, tight end premium. Okay. Ferg, Otten, Allen have DJ Moore starting. So leaning tight end. This is a tougher one. Ferg and Otten are a little closer to me. I think I'm going to go with Ferguson here. I like the matchup. Well, no, actually, you know what? I'm going to go Otten. And reason being, Justin Simmons is going to be out today. Jesse Bates can't be in two places at once. So I'm going to go with Caden Otten here over Fergie. I do like Fergie, but I like Caden Otten a little bit. Rana goes, I have a team with Barkley, JT, Chuba, Chubb, Stevenson, and Chase. Good for you, brother. I love having teams with a good amount of running backs. Quick goes, am I crazy to grab Nix for DFS? No, you are not. He was another guy that I was going to label. He is $6,900 versus the Panthers. I like it if you want to play down. You have to pair him, though, with somebody, and they are cheap options to pair. So if you feel comfortable with Courtland Sutton, even though he had a rough week last week, I don't hate that idea. or putting him with Vel, Vele. He's good. I like him a lot. You can pair him with him. You can pair him with Sutton. One or the other. Vel is definitely cheaper, but I do like that for Wicket. Zach Cormier, what's going on, man? He goes, in my last flex spot, should I start Waddle, Pollard, or Dobbs? Ooh, these are really good options to go from. I'm assuming this is full PPR. If it's a half PPR, I'd probably lean Pollard just because they involve him in the passing game and he's more guaranteed a touch. If it's full PPR, I might lean Waddle just a smidge, but it's real close between Waddle and Dobbs. I do love having both of those guys. So yeah, I'm probably gonna go Pollard, Waddle, Dobbs if I'm ranking it. And it's really based on your particular scenario when it comes to full PPR or not. But Pollard is up there. So I might be leaning Pollard either way. Boys and girls, I'm going to be wrapping this up. Last two questions that I got down here for Neanderthal and Ice Cold Old Jones. Those are going to be the last two I'm going to get to. I got to get going. I'm already well past my time. Rambling Man thanks me for my advice. He also goes, never sit AJ Brown. Of course, I agree. Neanderthal goes, morning, Mike. I got Evans out, JMO suspended. Should I go with Flowers with the injury, or should I play Mike Wilson or Shepard? I think you have to, unfortunately. I don't like it, but I think you have to, just because they're going to get him involved. So, Ice Cold Old G Jones, he goes, Purdy, Rodgers, or Kyler. Also, Chiefs defense or Ravens. I'm going to go Chiefs defense for sure. I like Purdy in tonight's matchup, to be quite honest. I don't hate Rodgers, but Kyler, I don't hate either in this one, but it's going to be tough. I do like Purdy the most here, so I think I'm going to go Purdy. Ray goes, last one, Brian Robinson or Bucky Mostert, B-Rob. Yeah, I'm going to go B-Rob. All right, boys. Why do you guys throw all your questions in as I'm leaving? Come on, man. TS goes Scary Terry or Bigsby. Bigsby. Full PPR. I'm going Bigsby. Sports Spotlight. He goes with Higgins out. Pick one PPR. McConkey, Ridley, Wicks, Purcell. I'm going to go Purcell here. It's close between Purcell and McConkey. To be honest, but I'm gonna go Purcell. Get the kid involved. It's more of a narrative thing, but I don't hate McConkey. His matchup's pretty decent overall against the Saints. Saints are going to be having a rough day. That defense is going to take a beating. 21st against the pass. But if you listen to Rasta, he says McConkey. I'm going to stick with Purcell and go from there. I know that Debo is probably going to be more involved, but yeah, McConkey is close second. Whatever. Purcell. You know me and my names, man. All right, boys and girls, I'm out of here. I hope everyone has a wonderful week. Make sure you guys check out our weekly schedule if you're new to the channel. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Take a second to pause this and check it all out. Also, make sure you check out our affiliate channels as well with Kendall and the Fantasy Football Tavern. If you want cold beers, hot takes, go watch Kendall. Also, make sure you guys check out Phil at the Extra Point. I mean, someone's got to kick the extra point. Phil Ruskin is that guy. And then the Fantasy Boardroom as well. Check out Tycoon as he, gives you all his great takes prior to the games of the week. All right, boys and girls. I will see you guys next week on Friday. I will be here. Also see you guys next Sunday as well. So good luck to everybody in week 8, unless you're facing me. Have a great rest of your weekend. Appreciate y'all. Oh, of course, Rasta. That's what I'm here for, brother. Hope everyone has a great week. I will see you guys next week. For everyone here at Get Right Fantasy, Dustin, Frank, Rasta, who's in the chat, Kendall, Phil, Tycoon, the whole crew. I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.
wanna see is the play. Marking nothing, but I tune every